we don't claim to have a good jumper at this point of our lives, but our next guest probably still does. His name's Travis Hansen.
He has to.
Elder 8 Mile from back in the day. One of my favorite BYU players ever. Travis is on the program, a native of Mapleton now, as I am as well, a neighbor just down the street. Your house is a little bit bigger than mine. But Travis, welcome back to the show, man.
What's up?
How we
doing? Dave, the two guys that never age. Unbelievable.
We've never been convicted of that, so we appreciate that that compliment. We're excited about what BYU did on Tuesday night. It's a nice step forward. They've struggled a little bit out of the gate in the Big 12, but what are you seeing from BYU hoops that encourages you that hey, BYU's going to hopefully meet expectations this season?
Well, they're getting better. There's lots of things you got to improve, and when you sit with a team and you play a game and then you watch film afterwards, you'd hope that they continue to improve on whatever it is that was the main reason they didn't win. Or I think their 3-point defense. I think they've allowed opponents to score like 37 or 40% from three, and so they got to get up and get more physical. And then hopefully if you watch film, it translates into the next game. And it seems like it is translating. It seems like they had quite a few weaknesses that you really just didn't know about because their preseason schedule was pretty weak. And as they've played better teams, you've been able to see, some of the things that they need to improve. But, they played well against Colorado and showed what type of team they eventually hope to be this year.
Travis, you're the perfect person to answer this question. You were a star here. You're invested here. You're close to certain players here. You're a fan here. How should fans digest what they're seeing? If you could sit down with every fan and go, hey, look, what would you tell them?
I would say we have the best fan base in the country, in the world. I played in every NBA arena and every basically big arena in the world, and there's just no place better than BYU. And I think the one way we could make it better is to be really high level fans. And when our guys play really hard, I think we should cheer them on. I played for a team called Baskonia in Vitoria, Spain, and we'd play in these tournaments. And if we played really hard, even if we lost, they still showed up at 2 a.m. in the morning when our plane came in, and they'd clap for us because it showed an appreciation of that they're giving their all. And I think this team at times has had lulls and slumps, and they're trying to find out, rotations and consistent shot making has been a problem, and some of the, enhancing some of their front court play. But overall, they're playing hard. And I think as fans, we tend to be overly dramatic. And if we win, we're probably going to win a national championship. And if we lose, it's probably the worst season ever. Why do we sign these guys? And I think finding a kind of a higher intellectual place where we cheer on effort and we cheer on progression and performance as far as what they're doing on the court. And these kids are playing hard. I mean, there's nobody wants to win more than Kevin Young and his staff and the players that are playing. And I think they're doing a great job, and they're constantly improving, and that's all you can ask for as a fan.
We follow up on that with the newness. There's so much newness, and you mentioned Kevin Young, and his whole staff's new, and the team's new. How do you fight through newness and mature, at warp speed when you're playing teams that already have?
Yeah, it's interesting, huh? Some of the best teams are just, they spend so much time together, and they've been together, and they know instinctively what someone's going to do, what they're good at, what they're not good at.
Who's calling you during this?
It's probably Egor or Danny Ainge. It was Danny. Danny, what are you doing? They are new, and they are trying to figure out how to play together and what rotations work, and it takes time. It takes time. Some teams click really quick, and some teams take a minute to click, and this team's taking a little bit more effort than we'd like.
Certainly, it's a new era in BYU basketball. There's going to be one and dones, which is exciting. The talent level's never been higher. It's awesome. But to click, sometimes that takes time. Last year's team, it took like a year of we didn't make the NIT to get to the NCAA tournament. BYU doesn't have that kind of time anymore. So how do they figure that out when you are going to have a Egor Demin come in and Cannon Catchings next year and AJ DiBonsa and so on and so forth?
Well, I mean, culturally and foundationally, I think KY is figuring out, first year from NBA to college basketball, it's different. There's areas that it's different, and he's establishing his culture. And so having players come back from his system year after year will create a lot more consistency and a foundation to build on. And so it's a new coach, and there's a lot of new players, and it takes time. So, but honestly, when Richie and Egor play really well, we win. And players have got to make plays. And Egor came in and he was, he showed his star talent and how good he is. And then he had a knee injury, and then he has a lot of stuff and a lot of opinions and a lot of people coming at him. And he's had to work through that as an 18-year-old to what's between his ears, to be able to filter out who not to listen to. And it takes time to learn that. And he's learning it, and he's getting better. I mean, we went to lunch yesterday and had a nice chat about his progression and what he's doing. And you'll see a young man continue to play really, really well through these last few games.
Travis, speaking of Egor, who's the most challenging to talk down off the ledge, Egor or Vladimir over in Moscow when sizing up performance and expectation and team, and you're kind of the middleman?
Well, I think the best, what was that? I coach all these young kids, and I was reading one time that the worst part of the playing sports for kids is the ride home. And it's because parents sometimes, won't just say, I love watching you play. I love you. Let's go get an ice cream, or let's go get something. And they want to inject their opinion almost too soon. And so it's been good, a filter, because his dad will call and, he'll be frustrated with a few different things and I remind him, every time you talk to him, you say, talk about Russian food or talk about something funny, and tell him that you just love watching him play, because that's what ultimately he really needs is people to say, I love you for you. Because in reality, Egor is such a great player, and he's such a good kid, and he really, really wants to be great. I mean, nobody wants to be better than him. He'll go to practice, shoot around, he'll go to a game, and if he doesn't feel like he played up to par, he'll be back at the annex till 1 a.m, shooting and shooting and shooting, trying to make sure he's reaching his potential. But the other aspects that people aren't seeing that he's improving, number one is his spirituality. I mean, BYU has been so good for him to learn about Jesus and God, and learn about goodness, and learn about serving others, and learn about, he was telling me about girls that he had dated in Russia, and that foundationally they lacked faith, and they lacked that strength. And there's so much more emotion, and he's dating a young lady here at BYU, and how she has faith, and that she doesn't get bothered by the day-to-day stuff and what people say.
She's got a jumper too.
And she's got a jumper. Yes, she does.
Right?
She's got a great jumper. And so you see other aspects of Egor that are developing that will ultimately help him perform in all aspects of his life. But sometimes you don't see that part.
Right, that's great insight into Egor Demin, which is part of the reason we have you on. I did want to ask you this. He has told Dave before, hey, I never said I was a one and done. Is there any chance that he comes back next year to BYU?
We don't need to talk about it. We're taking day by day and game by game and practice by practice, but 100%. He loves it here. He's like a kid in a candy store. You see him over there at the Rock and watching the girls' games or football games. I mean, he's like, this is the best. Just next time he's going to take his shirt off and start throwing it around, and he's cheering. He's yelling at the refs. He's having the time of his life, and he's taking it all in as an 18-year-old, the first time in college. He loves BYU. And he loves the coaches. He loves KY, and he has just been so grateful for his experience here. We shall see what the future holds. We'll get that feedback when time comes, and he'll make the best decision for him and his family.
Hey, it's win-win. If he's one and done and he's super successful in the NBA, that's awesome for BYU. If he comes back, that's awesome. I don't think BYU loses in this situation. He's been a great fit. Travis, we appreciate the time, man. I'll be over at the gym maybe tomorrow at 6 a.m. to get some shots up.
6 a.m. You know the code. Let's do
I
it.
don't
Thanks.
quite yet. I need that one. Thanks, Travis.
Thanks, Travis.